Hello. Hopefully this is working. I'm going to assume that it is. So, g'day champs, and welcome to another Direct Fire live stream. Joining me, I am your host Bentham, and joining me today, as always, is my deep dislike of public speaking, as well as my constant need for validation. So, we are here streaming the Masters event, the invite-only tournament where the best of the best gather to duke it out to see who is the best of the best, for this year at least. The players are just being set up. We'll see if we can get a shot of the table. Let's see if this works. Hey, it's working. Alright. So today we have the former master, Steve Devenish. He'll be taking on Max K. Steve will be playing his Rakin, and Max, looks like he's got goblins. I'll try and get the lists working. I'm not sure if I'm going to get this right. Wasn't practiced, so I guess you'll have to suck it up. Okay. Alrighty, list reviews. And we have nothing. Alright. I'm sure I can put a thing here that'll show it. Where are we? As you can see, very well practiced. The lists have been up and about. You can catch them on the Counter Charge live stream, where myself and the host of Counter Charge, Matt Croger, went through and discussed them all. It should be picking up here. Oh, not that one. Look, we've got plenty of time to kill, so this is all part of the process, sure. Okay, is this gonna work? Would you look at that? Now, obviously, it being so zoomed out is not good. There we go. Hopefully you can still hear me. If you can, just pop something in the chat. Maybe I'll pop something in the chat as well. I say everyone, there's only a couple of people. I guess more than one is everyone. Okay, let's go through this. We have Steve Devenish's Ratkin. He is taking a lot of warriors. So we've got 2 regiments of the warriors and 2 hordes. They've all got plague bots, which will make it harder for Max to deal any sort of damage to them. It's a one-use only item throughout the game. 2 troops of claw shots. So these are long-ranged infantry troops. They can also hold objectives, so they're pretty good in that regard. Can read, can hear. Thank you, Selec, for the support. And then we have a regiment of Vermintide. So this looks like his throwaway unit to get in the way to stop any of the big nasty things, which Max doesn't have a whole lot of, but I'm sure it'll gum up his lines. Tunnel Runner Regiment with the Brew of Sharpness. So these makes this chariot unit hitting on 3s as opposed to 4. Very good, fast, powerful unit. 3 weapon teams, very annoying ranged damage dealers. A Death Engine Impaler, which is a potent chariot. The Tangle, which is an unusual casting unit. It's got a lot of different spells there, so we can cast Bane, Chant, Fireball, Mind Fog, or Weakness. It's not throwing a lot of dice with most of those, 1 dice, so it's like a 50-50 chance whether or not that spell goes off. But they've got a fair few. And it's a surprisingly reasonable combat unit. It only hits on 4s, but with 9 attacks, and it scores, I'm sure Max will be able to deal with that. Got a Brute Enforcer, which is a combat hero. It's just a larger dude on a large infantry base. Doesn't have a whole lot of attacks with only 3 dice. But it's also not worth very much, so good throwaway unit. Then we get into the last bits here. We've got the Broodmother, another hero. Normally it has a Drain Life spell, but he's swapped that out for a longer ranged attack, which gets to reroll 1s to damage. He gets 5 dice to hit for those things. Mother Kryza, another Broodmother type unit. Lightning Bolt 5. And then his big cost unit, Scuddy. I'm just going to say Scuddy. Demon Spawn of Dew. This has 13 attacks, hitting on 3s, Lightning Bolt 5, Crushing 3, so it can get through just about any sort of armoured unit. And Rally, so it makes all of his other little rats that are nearby harder to take off the board. And now, let's see if we can change this to his opponent's list. Where are you, Max? There you are. I wanna know what love is. Not sure if you heard that, but there we go. We have Max K and his goblins this year. He's been doing well with them. Obviously, he's in the tournament. We have one measly little regiment of rabble. This is one of the worst units in the game, but they're also good to take up space, and he's given it the Warbow of Kabar, which is a 1 dice shot attack with a bow. And then we've got 5 hordes of Sharpsticks, like the rabble, but they do a bit better against knights and flying units. It's got 2 war trombones. They're like the weapon teams that Steve's got. Pretty much the same sort of equivalent. 3 sharpstick throwers. These are another war machines, sort of like ballista, giant crossbows. 2 mincer mob chariots. Oh no, just mincers by themselves. Individual chariot units. They've got the big shield, so while their defense says 4 there, they're actually 6 in the front, so quite tanky if he doesn't get flanked. But they don't have a lot of nerve. Fearless 11, which means even if a few points of damage get through, there's a good chance that it could just disappear. It's got 3 wingets. These flying machines are the ranged variety as opposed to the melee. So they've got 12-inch ranged attacks, throwing 3 dice per attack. And they also have the Eye in the Sky special rule, which means he can point out a unit. And basically all these war machines get to reroll 1s to hit, making them slightly more accurate. He's also got a Flagot, crappy hero. He's got the Diadem of Dragonkind, granting it the ability to cast Fireball. As you can see, it's got pretty low nerve, 1 attack, doesn't hit very well on 5s, but it is only 40 points, plus another 30 for that Diadem. Coming up to the end of the list, we have 3 Troll Bruisers. These are similar to the Brutant that Steve's running, but these guys can regenerate, so they can slowly heal their wounds back if they're left alone long enough. 5 attacks each, crushing strength 2, hitting the 3s, they're great units. And to cap this list off, we have 2 Kings on Chariots, both with short bows for 7 ranged attacks, hitting on 4s. Only 18 inches, but they move pretty quick at speed 9, so they can get across the board wherever they need. So it looks like they are setting up. Oh, that's the scenario Raze. I should probably go through that. Yeah, let's go through that. Let's go back. Alright, can we... I don't know how to navigate this. This is why I need someone else here. Juggling too much. If I grab this and move it across, nah, that's not going to do it. Can I zoom out? Oh man, I hate this program. Yeah, that'll have to do. So the scenario today is Raze, as you can see, is the review copy, not great. So basically there is going to be one objective marker in the center of the board, and then we place 3 more markers 6 inches from the center line on their opponent's half. So there'll be a bunch of tokens all over the board. You can't remove the central token, but you can on the opposite side. And players get 1 point for each objective marker you control on your opponent's half, as well as the center. And that's about it. Okay, let's go back. Alrighty, so they are laying out. Hopefully that looks like that camera may have frozen. That's not good. We might have to restart the thing, because things are going on the board and they're not. It's not showing up. Great. Okay. Alright, might have to troubleshoot that. There we go, change the setting and it comes alive again. Hooray! So we have Steve. Well, we've got some names that we need to change here. This is from the previous year. Not Tefan, Stefan. Steven? Stefan? Stefan? Whatever. It's fine. And person. Things are all over the place here. We have Max. Alright, hopefully that's working. Let me know if you can see that. That'd be good. So you can see there's one central objective right in the middle of the board there. And it looks like they've placed their tokens on the opposite side pretty much opposite each other. Okay, looks like Steven's putting his Tangle unit down on the top left. He's got the Tunnel Runners on the far left side, hugging the wall of the board. Max is lining up a lot of his hordes opposite them, and basically countering Steven's drops on the right, just so he can't get around him. Excellent, thank you, Gordon. Thank you. Select for the adjustment of the name there. There we go. Just love fixing this crap on the fly. Alrighty. Okay, so still in deployment. We're going to be here for another 15 minutes because they've got like 300 units apiece. No, probably not that bad. Checking out the table terrain, we've got 2 chunks of hills. Can I draw on this? Let's see. Probably not, because I don't want to mess with it right now. So I'm just going to have to describe it to you. So we've got 2 hills there. One is just below the red house. You can see the roof top down. And one just a bit higher than the central point that Max is measuring to. The piece between the lake and the hill is an impassable piece of terrain, so they can't actually go through that. And to the right of that is a forest, and just above the red house is another forest, which will slow any unit, make it harder to fight if they move through it. A couple of fences there you might be able to see, almost direct centered along the lines of Max's deployment, and one vertical on the right third there. Like the forests, moving over it's going to make it harder to hit unless you've got rules to sort of negate that. And I don't think they do in either of these lists. Well, they don't care, which is also fine. Okay, I'll see if I can post some links for other people while I chat. Alright, they're still deploying. Looks like Steve's putting down one of the chariot-looking units, not sure which one that is. Okay. Thank you, Select. Popping up that as well. There we go. Let's move that across to fit. Right, I think we're okay now. Yay. Right, Steve just fixing up the terrain there. Okay. It'd be good if I could figure out exactly what unit is where and to draw on this thing, but maybe if these guys finish up quick I can try and troubleshoot that for round 2. And reminder, Raze is they need to score on the opponent's side. If I'm remembering that correctly, I don't know, it's been a long time. Because the objectives on each side of their own, so the top 3 for Steve, the bottom 3 for Max, they can't score from those. They can sort of contest to try and prevent their opponent from scoring it, but they're not actually going to get any points for it themselves. Also note that to score in this scenario, each objective marker you control on your opponent's half of the table at the end of your turn, they're removed. So once you've scored, they're gone. So you don't have to sit there. You're basically going over there, claiming the point, getting rid of it. You can't get rid of that central one. And again, you can't get rid of your own on your own side. Looks like they're ready to go. So we'll change this text from deployment back to turn 1. So it's not a high scoring scenario. The maximum you can get is 4. So it'll be a lot of trying to prevent your opponent from getting those points. Which will be, it might be difficult to do for Stephen because he's got fewer scoring units with unit strength, whereas Max has all those hordes, Steve not so much. And he's got those claw shots which are wanting to stay at the back and shoot things, so that's another couple of unit strength units that aren't going to be able to claim those objectives. I don't know, we'll see how it plays out. So it looks like Max has won the roll-off for first turn, and he is booking it. Sending one of his kings on chariots straight down the line. Moving up just enough so he can continue to fire, because if you move at the double, then you can't shoot your weapon. Max Factor versus Friar Tuck. Stephen D. I should actually clarify that because we've got a couple of Steves. How about that? Hmm. Singing beautiful. I guess it's all subjective, isn't it? Okay, looks like he's moving. That might be the Rabble Regiment with the bow. It's got 24-inch range on that bow, so maybe he's just trying to get a lucky shot. There goes the second King on Chariot. Just putting his leader point on the hill so it can see. But I think they're just discussing that he's not actually on the hill. Which means... bloody programs is screaming at me. Which means if he's not on the hill, then Steve's going to have a harder time seeing it to shoot back. So it's pretty standard here, moving up everything to prevent Steve from doing the same, limiting his options or forcing the charge. Alright, just bear with me for a moment while I try to multitask. I'm sure me not saying anything for a moment is not going to... You're not going to miss out on anything on the game. You can see anyway. Man, what is it? We're not even at the end of the top of turn 1 and I need a drink. I'm not used to talking a whole lot. It's certainly a practiced skill. Okay, posting links, doing the socials. Because I forgot to do that. Alrighty. So, a couple of rebel hordes on the left there to contest his own objectives. The goblins can't move that fast, so it's not like they can fang up the board like the kings on chariots. All hordes moving forward, nothing keeping back. The big thing we'll need to sort of keep an eye on is how Max uses his flying goblins, the wingets with the ranged attacks. They're all on the lower left half, just behind that, the rabble hordes there. Because if Steve can take them out, then a lot of the effectiveness of his war machines drops, and the wingets can also score, and they're the fastest, most nimble things that Max has. Thanks for getting rid of them. Is, I would think, pretty top priority. Okay. Posting the links everywhere so people can get on here. It is goblins versus raccoon, lots of units, so we might be here for the entire 2 hours or so. My shoulders getting broader and broader, carrying the team, and my back getting more and more sore. And posting one more link for the people who don't follow the Directness Fire channel or Facebook group. You heathens. And hopefully the microphone quality is okay. Using a headset, so it's not the usual podcasting mic that you might be used to. So probably not as smooth. Thanks, Paige, in the countercharge list review for that comment. Okay, Steve measuring distances and charge arcs of everything. So looks like Steve's warrior horde on the top right there is taking some damage from plink shooting. That would have been the king with his ranged attacks, possibly the warbow of Kabir if it hit. Hard to tell from here. But once that is gone and the Vermintide behind it, that half is pretty much free for Max to get around. Looks like he forgot to roll a nerve check or a damage check or something, so they've stopped the clock, moved it back over to Max's time, and now we're back onto Steve's. I am assuming that little marker that Steven popped just in front of that horde on the top right was a plague pot, which means anything that goes to charge it in the front is going to be harder to hit. One use only token, and it just means that that unit's probably going to hold for the next round of charging, which is okay because it's what kings are going to get in there and do nothing. Scuddy, the big demon spawn of Dew, has charged the king, the Goblin King on Chariot, into the side arc, which means it gets double attacks. That's 26 attacks on 3s against a unit that has, what, 13, 15, 12, 14 nerve max, so you would think that king is gone. If he doesn't, he does leave his flank exposed to that to that horde just below it. But looking at the angle there, if he doesn't take out that king... No, there's no clock on the screen. As I was saying, the arc looks like it might actually be a rear charge if that goblins get in. Steven, on the whole, has got a faster army. Those tunnel runners are pretty fast. Just as standard, the rats move faster than the goblins. But Max has got the chariots and the wingets, which can zip about. So Steve is in the forest trying to get out of it, and then he's got that house right in front of him as well, which is something he has to sort of navigate around, which can be a bit of a pain. Especially with Max's goblins there, like 3 hordes, there's not a lot of room to move. He might actually bottleneck himself there. If Steve can take out that chariot with the demon spawn, overrun, I don't know, if he gets lucky on the dice, because you roll a dice to overrun, that's how far you move, out of range of the goblins. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know what Max does to get out of that. He's just got to sort of take the charge. All likely outcomes, Steve beats that king and just pivots it around to take the charge on Max's turn 2. Yeah, they are goblins. They're not going to take out a demon spawn. They've got crappy attacks. He's got some reasonable defense and a high nerve. Unless he gets really lucky. Excellent, thank you, Selic. for confirming the quality there. I can see a problem on Steven's side as well, because they're all sort of bunched up on that left half. Those tunnel runners, which are a pretty important damage dealing piece in his army, they might get blocked up with the units in front of them. Because you can't charge through your own units, they need a lane free to be able to do anything. And if they get stuck, bogged down with hordes of goblins, then that's one expensive damage dealing unit that's not doing anything. Meanwhile, Max's flying units can zip over the top of everything because they fly, get behind the lines and start throwing bombs. The claw shots might have line of sight, so they're the units in the center of the table there, just on the northern edge of that little pond. They've got 36-inch range, so they might be able to see those wingets to start firing. And it looks like Steve's measuring the range for the weapon teams. They've only got 12-inch range, not very far. And this is Kings of War. For the first turn or two, it's all very cagey. Well, first turn sort of move up, second turn is, alright, now what do I do? Before things start to collapse. Hopefully the weather's nice where you are. It's pretty crisp over here in Canberra. The ACT. Not that it matters since we're inside, but I think it was last year, it was quite warm and I was cooking. Not so much today. Which is good. Okay, so it looks like he's measuring the Vermintide. The distance between that and the King, because the King is the leader points on the hill, you can see, and it's got an 18-inch charge range. He doesn't want that King getting into the Vermintide, killing it, and then turning around and having some fun with either the rear of the Warrior Horde or the flank of the Claw shots. While they don't, it's not very effective in combat hitting on 4s. When you're hitting something in the back, tripling its attacks or doubling it in the side, you're bound to have some success. Okay, Claw shots going for the King, trying to stop it. It's like 2 hits. Not sure how much damage, at least 1. Probably the second unit doing the same thing, couple of hits, another damage. And if you remember the shooting phase, you do all your shooting first before rolling to see if things disappear. Okay, looks like some lightning bolts going out from probably the Mother Kryza or the Broodmother with the 18-inch ranged attack. We've got the Tangle casting its spell. Three hits for whatever it is that he's casting. I should bring up the list again because I don't remember these things. Okay, looks like he's wavered one of the wingets with 1 damage. Rolled high on the nerve. The second one, not high enough. So nothing happens. So the wingets, the most right winget in the bottom left corner, not doing anything. For the next turn, it could back up, but what else is it going to do? Maybe try and get out of range, but Steve can always move forward. A whole lot of dice are coming out. This is probably the combat between the Demon Spawn and the King. Got a lot of damage and the nerve check. It's inspired, so he has to re-roll it, and as we thought, takes it off. Doesn't overrun, but instead it changes its position so that Goblin Horde is now in the front flank or the front arc of the demon spawn. So when it goes to charge, it'll hit that front and then sort of slide, exposing the Horde's flank to Steve's Horde up the top, just in front of the 3 weapon teams there. Which is a good move, good maneuver. And that's the end of turn 1. Stephen getting the first blood there. Change the text. And now we're into the movement phase once more. Looks like one of the troll bruisers in charge range and going for potentially, maybe not, take maxis, which is why you have proxy bases. So you pop it down before you go to move, so you can remember where they are if you need to go back. Yes, 2 waivers. That is a good start. That's what you want. So lines are starting to get a bit wonky already. They started off nice and straight, and now Steve's sort of having to angle to make sure that things don't get flanks where he can. Max is doing the same, and yeah, still need to see what Max does in turns 3 and 4 with these goblin hordes. It's not like he's got a lot of beef there to fight back with. He's just got the unit strength, so if he holds, then Stephen can't claim those objectives and score those points. So I don't think anyone will be scoring any points for the next couple of turns, and it's all going to come down right at the end as things start disappearing. Now I might just stand up so I can get a better look at the table instead of just this screen. Oof. So looks like he is moving the wing it back that wavered, so he can get one of, what is that? One of the war trombones? The short-ranged goblin pieces that throw a lot of dice at things. And he's doing some nice clean play of measuring where things were and moving stuff over. Worried about the Impaler possibly because it's a more nimble unit. And the Impaler is that chariot-sized piece that Stephen has on the far left, just below the tunnel runners, which are the 3 big wheels. Is it too early for a drink? What time is it? Ugh, okay. Some very detailed millimeter movements here. Worried about that demon because it's so tall, it can see everything. So now he's measuring to make sure that Stephen can't just go in, charge something in the side, because if the model can't physically fit with its base, then it can't charge it. A lot of bit of finagling. Alright. Selec's just sending me some tips that I'll try and figure out for round 2, so we can get this stream a little bit better. And then I can sort of circle out what exactly I'm talking about. And we might also move the camera setup a little bit so you can see the bottom of the table a bit more, because it's sort of, it's not looking straight down, like the weight of the camera is making it angle a little bit. That could be the way that I've set things up, but that's what's happened. Yeah, the factions can be added to the names on the left. I will do that now. Okay, how about we do this? Boop. There we go. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Live edits, yay. Nearly midday here. Yeah. Okay, looks like he's eyeing off that king. Can it hit the tunnel runners? But it needs room. Or maybe he's worried about the tunnel runners being able to fit. Possibly keeping out of charge range there. And that's the thing with these high-speed units. You need to factor in just about everything that they might be able to touch. Alright, looks like he's measuring the chariot-sized base just to see if it does charge that horde, where does it land, and what angles are they presenting for the other units. What can see it, what can see in the flank, can they maneuver around their own units to get there. On the far right, Goblin King on chariot, zipping forward. It is a nimble unit, which means it can move at the double, which is twice its speed, as well as pivot, because normally you can't pivot when you do that. Yes. Stupid Twitter icon needs to be changed to X. What a dumb name. Max also conscious of the clock. They're using chess clocks. They get about an hour each. And all of their actions and movement and dice rolling need to be done on their own clock. And because goblins have a lot of dice and a lot of units, you got to be pretty quick and clean. So it looks like he's just measuring there. If he runs up, probably won't be able to shoot. I can't really tell, because if that's 9 inches or not, looks longer. So he can angle its front to possibly get that horde in the flank at next turn, but also so the horde can't see the king to charge it. And Max has thrown the Troll Bruiser into that horde just to hold them up. It's not going to take them out. It's only got 5 attacks, while the horde's nerve is like 1921 or something stupid like that. 5 dice plus, well, 5 attacks at the most, plus 12 on the dice maximum is 17, which is not going to beat it. But I guess it does have a couple of pips of damage from the shooting, but that's still not enough. Alright, so he's moved up all the way that it can. And pivoting so he can see the Vermintide he's looking at to shoot. He can no longer shoot the horde because they are in combat. He can't shoot into combat. So he's just giving himself another option to shoot at. The Vermintide don't have a lot of defense, and they don't have very high nerve, so hopefully a couple of points of damage will be enough to take it off. You can't see it just yet, but Max has pivoted that king on chariot, so it is no longer on the hill, can no longer be seen or see over it. But he's also angling it so he can see around it to that horde's flank. And so he's protected that king from any sort of assault on Steven's side, ready for his turn 3. Goblin horde's pivoting, getting ready for the next 2 turns. Troll Bruiser. Oh, looks like the camera is frozen a bit. Let me just readjust that. I'll do a thing And hopefully that kicks it back into gear. Let me just change the scene. Let's see if that works. Did that work? No, it looks still frozen. Okay. I might have to pause their game to double check the camera. Yeah, technology's great. Especially when it does things that you can't explain. Alright, I'll just pop me headphones down and let the players know once they've finished this turn, because I don't want to interrupt them. This is the Masters after all. Alright, be back in just a moment. Okay. And we're back. Hooray. The camera's angled again, so we'll have to fix that up. But nothing's up at Steven's side, so I guess it's probably better this view. Yeah, we'll need to shift things over. It's all good. We'll be fine. So at the moment, Max is throwing all of his shots into that demon spawn. He's got all the trombones, he's got the wingettes, he's got something else giving it a go. Doing as much damage as he can to that demon. Can you see everything again? Hopefully that's all working. Haven't put myself on mute. No, good. So it looks like he's done enough damage, rolled high enough on the nerve to take it off, but because it inspires, he has to re-roll that dice, and this time got a lower result, keeping that demon alive. Now we've got combat on the far right there, the Troll Bruiser into the Horde of Rats. It's only doing 5 damage, couple of hits, 2 dice, not enough. Good to have that confirmation that the stream's back up and running again. Okay, now we are onto Steven's turn. Bottom of the second. He knows he's not going to be able to do anything to that troll, so he has moved it back out of combat. Max is going to probably have to run around that unit again with that king. He's just making sure that the king's not in the flank. And if that unit can hold for a little while longer, well, it's still got another 4 turns. Probably not going to happen. I think he's just trying to deny that point for Max. That said, that token is now exposed. He's moved the horde back enough that he might not be contesting it. It's only 3 inches that you have to be for a unit to contest an objective marker. And because the king or the troll or anyone really, they're all a unit strength, they have at least 1 unit strength, they have the ability to score and take that off the board, and now he doesn't have to worry about keeping dudes there. Which is a good position for him. I did say on the countercharge army list review that if Steve could keep the demon spawn alive, he'd have a much better shot at winning this game. But it's heavily damaged. I don't think it can face another round of shooting. He's not getting it into charge anymore. Well, not this turn at least. He's just moving it across behind the lines. But I would imagine Max on his next turn is just going to turn those trombones, move the wingettes into range again, and throw some more crap. Okay, thank you very much. Matt Croger has just gifted me some arcs of visibility and range rulers. I'll just pop back onto here so you can see what I'm talking about. There we go. So range rulers and arc of visibility. So thank you. Let's get my ugly mug off to the stream, shall we? Always handy having those measurement tools, keeps things nice and quick. Craig was saying this is a gift as a I was here. Normally given to the attendees, the players of the Masters, as a keepsake. Which is nice. Okay, now that that demon spawn is out of the way, Stephen is moving up that horde of warriors into the goblin sharpsticks. I forgot they were sharpsticks, which means flying units like the demon would be slightly worse to hit in the front. How long can he hold out? I guess we'll see. Getting that chariot base. That's what I need to do. I need to get some proxy bases. I just end up using them all to put miniatures on. So don't have any dedicated bases. It's not like I don't have the capacity. It's like I do have a 3D printer. But I also have a poor memory. Thank you, Selleck. Yes, went for the suit once more. Give the stream a bit of class. The Dragon type units can be difficult. They do give you a lot of option, but it is a lot of points into one unit that you sort of want to get into the fight, but also don't want to get taken off. Yeah, it's a very delicate balance. Especially with the Demon Spawn, it is one of the more expensive units. A lot of attacks, got some good ranged shooting. Well, not good, but has some ranged shooting. But I find them a great threat. They're a good psychology piece to make your opponent to do things they don't want to do because of the possibility of the potential risk that they generate. Thank you, the real marvelous. So far, so good. A couple of technical hitches, but we're doing all right. So it looks like the Impaler, Stephen's Impaler, has charged into one of the hordes along with, is that a warrior regiment sitting on that hill? Another regiment moving up. The tunnel runners haven't charged in. And Stephen having a think about what to do with that Tangle unit sitting in the forest. The Tangle doesn't have Pathfinder, so it can't run out of the forest. It can only move its speed 5, so 5 inches at most. It can charge, but then it's at a -1 to hit, so that's hitting on 5s instead of 4s, which is pretty poor. Not sure what he's measuring here. Maybe he's measuring the distance from his weapons or Max's weapons to each other. That's another big damaging points to Stephen's list are those weapon teams. Just the weight of shots, the amount of dice that they can throw with the potential to spike and do a lot of damage on something. Not to forget about Max's King on Chariot behind that hill, because the weapon teams are war engines. Any unit that goes into combat with them will get their attacks tripled. That means if that King on Chariot manages to get in, Max will be throwing, 21 dice instead of 7. So it's a pretty good chance of taking that thing off. That's right.
I just realised that nobody breathed coffee breath in.
I'm sure my breath isn't all that great as well. Let's change scene so you can't know what are you there. Change scene so you can see Matt Croger joining me at the desk. He's
Jeremy Duval just entered the chat over there.
Hey, good morning or good evening, whichever it is. Morning.
Who are you dressed by today, Vincent?
Myself.
Oh, nice.
I'm a big boy, I dress myself.
You did well.
Yeah, we get there.
I haven't paid much attention when going around. What do we got on there?
Alright, so it looks like Steve's in trouble. I'm just going to call it now. The Demon Spawn has taken a lot of damage, sitting behind Max's goblins, but for how long? I think Max has got a good flank there on the right side of the board. Once that horde's gone, then He's got nothing to contest. No one's claimed any objectives yet. And I think Steve's just throwing everything in because he has to.
I did see Steve took an early charge on the side of the mincer. I
Yep.
thought that might have been a bit of bait thrown out by Maxi, but it has made it over the back. Scud has made it round to the back.
Mm-hmm. I can't see how much damage
No.
he's on though. It was high enough to possibly take him off. 11 damage. Matt's gone away. Back to me. Not sure if you could hear much of what Croger was saying. Don't know the sensitivity of this headset. Rub Croger's head for luck. There's a little bit of stubble. He's not completely shiny. Wear gloves. But as we were saying, that Demon Spawn has taken 11 damage. Its nerve is 17-19, so he only needed an 8 on 2 dice to take it off. So you would think next round, even if he does 1 point of damage, he's got a reasonable chance of taking it off. So we got another bucket of dice being thrown by Stephen. We have hordes fighting hordes. So this will bog the game down just a little. Looks like he's still in the shooting phase, so all those dice were from the weapon teams into a troll. Not enough to take it off, which is not good news. The troll has the ability to regen some of those back. It's got regen 5, so every point of damage that it takes, it rolls a dice. On a 5, that wound is healed. Still putting more points into that troll bruiser. He hasn't rolled the nerve yet, so we don't know how close he is to taking that thing off. 3 more dice there on a wing it, and they don't have much defense or nerve as well. Again, doesn't take much to take those things off, but can he roll high? 9 wounds on the troll so far. Okay. They've got a route result of 15, or that's their range, so Steve only has to roll a 6 to get it done. It's pretty close. Might be the claw shots there, which are pretty accurate. 1 damage.
It's a little bit orkies when the players can hear.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
I mean, they might be concentrating on the game and not actually listening to me rabbit on about
I don't know.
what they're doing wrong.
I'd be listening to the wisdom.
How many are in Aussie Masters?
I'd actually type that a while ago and forgot to hit send.
Right. Still in the shooting phase, it looks. This must be more claw shots, more wing it damage. Okay, and now he's rolling the nerve, trying to see if he can take out that bruiser. And he does. Right on. Going for that wing it next. High enough to do it the first time. The reroll. Oh, that looks like a trombone actually. Okay. Still a good target.
Just one of 30 redundant drops
Yep.
that you can take off. Yep.
1 down, 7 more to go. Okay. Not a bad result. Probably still not enough to save the demon. And now we're into the combat phase. This will probably be the slowest, most boring part of the game, as wet noodles slap each other. No euphemisms there.
I don't know if you'd feel getting slapped by a goblin, to be honest. Might be lucky to reach.
Working on Snow Troll Prime while watching. Good. Hopefully it's entertaining and doesn't put you to sleep. So one of these hordes is doing something. Can't quite see which one that is. Okay, that's Central Horde on the hill. So that's from the Impaler and the Regiment of Warriors. Still, the Impaler gets extra hits against smaller fellas, but it doesn't look like there was enough to do the trick as we go into turn 3. This is where the game starts to show who might be in a clear lead here once Max has done his charges and shooting. We'll see what Steven's got left. He still hasn't moved his tunnel runners over on the far left, so they're undamaged. Or have they taken some shooting? I can see some counters there. Maybe some lightning bolts or something. Troll Bruiser goes into that horde like before. Again, probably not going to take it off, but it is holding it in place.
Do you want? Oh, I've already wrapped my lips around it. I'll get you.
Oh, that's it, thanks, yeah. Krager, doing a drink run for me. Just some water to begin with. Wet the whistle. Lubricate my throat. That didn't sound very good. Anyway. Yes, good point. So, like, the central token may be critical to winning. Because, I mean, if Max can keep those wingets alive, he might be able to fly right in at the end and claim those ones at the back, if there's anything left. So, the War Engine's scoring now. Weapon teams, unit strength 0, so he's not holding it with those weapon teams, but it looks like those brood mothers or mother cries is in range to contest at least. This isn't an after dark, I said. No. I'm allowed to lubricate throats if I want to.
They call you the king of lubrication. Dulcet tones.
Yeah, it's so smooth.
Let me talk to you.
Okay, it looks like that king has moved behind the Troll Bruiser on the far right there. Just getting around. Again, being pretty cagey with it, not throwing it away. Probably lining up some more shots on that Vermintide behind that hill. Just up north of the hill, that central hill. Curious to see what he does with this Goblin on Chariot. In front of the hill, just south of it. If he's going to fang him out yet or not. And he's gone into the flank of the Rat Warrior Horde. Flank combined with the front charge of the Goblins might be enough, but they are Goblins. Jeremy, it is Raze. Yeah, I gotta figure that out. Okay, how about we do this in the new followers spot? And maybe that's set up something else. Nah, bugger it. Can't be bothered. Unless I can do something else, let me figure it out. Okay. Just figuring out what or how to do this. I might be okay. We will see. Does that work? Oh. Ah, bloody snaps. There you go. Done. Thank you, Croja, for the drink. So all the scenarios were rolled randomly before the event. It's all determined now, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so Max's measuring ranges for those shots. I'm not sure if he's going to do anything about that demon spawn. If he can, you would think he'd throw some bombs at wingets, but one was wavered. They're alright, they just misunderstood.
Says every goal. You gotta remember you don't run 3.
Yeah, that's true.
You're a nice guy.
I tried. Okay, so looks like he's measuring the distance from the broodmother there with the 18-inch range, just to try and protect them a bit, but like Steve can just move them forward, I guess, to put them back into range. Now Max has got some spear throwers or something of that sort. I'm not sure where they are. Or is that them all in the corner? Yep, the very, very bottom left corner, which you can't see because of the border of this window. Right where his elbow is now at the moment. Right, okay, so you can't really maneuver them either. You might be able to move the center one forward a little bit to allow the other ones to pivot, but what? Alright.
I tried to get him on live stream the other night. He's like, oh, my internet's so bad down the coast. Yet, here he is. Going nuts. Doesn't look like your internet's bad
Lies.
now, Sally. Cheeky bugger.
Wing it. Throwing his bombs. Hits 2, blasting a couple of times. Doing another point of damage. He only needs the 1 to cause the nerve roll.
You imagine he's at least wavering there. Scud's not headstrong, is he?
Let's have a look.
He's a rat.
Yeah, rats are not headstrong at all.
I think Stephen's dying inside a little bit.
Yeah.
Just saw his butt clench.
The effective goblin shooting is doing well. A lot of hits with the bolt throwers. They're blasting a whole bunch, and that's multiplied all those dice there.
Selleck talking about getting somewhere in the country decent internet. He's the one that works for the national internet supplier. You know. Right to yourself, Selleck.
You're back home now. There's still time for you to fly up.
Yeah, on a Saturday, he could have been here.
Join us around 3 onwards. Look, if people want us to go places, then they need to cough up, because we're not going to do it ourselves. Okay, time for the nerve check. All the shooting's done, finally. Vermintide are gone. Scuddy, the big one. Oh, first was enough to pass its route. Second, also. So it takes it off.
And so that was the first blood before? So they're the first 2 units taken off?
No, Steve.
On the dead pile.
Because Steve took out the, was it Mincer?
Oh, okay. Yeah, but that was first as Stephen's dead. But then
Yeah,
it was 3 units in a row.
that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
So now the board's probably looking a bit happier for Max's side with that big boy gone. And the Impaler. That's a lot of points in 2 units. Going to the combat, the Troll Bruiser hitting the Horde on the far right. Only a couple of wounds. And because it's the end of his turn and he was in range of that token, and Stephen wasn't, he's claimed it. First point to Max. Doesn't look like Stephen's going to be able to get any units over to that point just to the left of the forest on the far right, to the right of that impassable terrain.
And someone was pointing out before that you don't necessarily need to declare that you claim it in rules as written.
Okay,
Yeah,
so as long as it's there, that's it.
Yep.
Yep.
So if you'd gone ahead and not taken it off the board, then if it was yours, it was yours.
Mm-hmm. Is that game over already?
Yeah. No, I don't think you need to guess. That was the Truella filth versus
Right, okay.
Dust.
Yep.
I think that was always going to be hard.
So one result in already, Matt Truella. I think it was one of my picks to win the event, has claimed victory against Ed and his Empire of Dust. At the end of the round, we'll have the results of all the players, so you can see where they stand. And hopefully, the rankings as to where everyone's currently lying as well.
Oh yeah. That's on the chat before, but I'll forward it to you.
Cheers. Alrighty, some more wet noodles. Slapping. Three damage from a horde onto what exactly? The warrior regiment.
So that was 19-2.
Oof. 19-2. Yep.
The only time you can actually see results properly in the companion because it's their first results.
Ah, right, yep. Okay, looks like we have... Have we moved on to Stephen's side? Yes, we have. Bottom of the third turn. Things are still alive. But without that threat of Scuddy, the wingers are free to roam about. I mean, there's still the ranged assault. Sorry?
Death Engine Impaler.
1 round of shooting.
3 ballistic, 6 hits.
Oi!
As if goblins need dice help. Seriously. He's a dirty man.
They're
He
just
actually bathes in mud.
reconfirming the bolt throwers there on Max's side in the bottom corner that you can't see. They shot at the Death Engine Impaler of Stevens. All of them hit. They all blast, and obviously the result speaks for itself. Okay, so Stephen has made some room with that warrior horde, warrior regiment, so the tunnel runners can get in, which means that goblin horde might be done. Unless Stephen rolls poorly on his combats, that'll clear that up. And then the board state will shift again without a bunch of hordes. It'll be difficult for Max, but he does have wingets. So it's not as clear cut.
He's pretending to be magnanimous.
Is he pacing from stress? Is that what's happening? You stressed?
Stressed,
Flustered?
flustered. Looking at the clock.
How much time left?
You can't say it.
No.
23 minutes.
Whoa, 23 minutes. We got to rush. Don't miss anything. I shouldn't be heckling. This is the Masters. Yep, the wingets are going to be the difference, like I predicted. They are the important bit. Take them out, and maneuverability and objective scoring potential just drops dramatically.
It's what I find most difficult about playing against goblins is that so much of their good stuff is actually low unit strength or no
Yeah.
unit strength.
Yep.
And you try and take it out and it's really hard, and then you've still got all the scoring units on the board.
Yeah.
Paul, Starlink is about, I think it's about $100 a month. 100 Australian, so like $2 American.
I think it's more than
Oh,
that
you're
now.
in Canada.
It might be 130 now?
Is it 130?
Yeah,
now?
it's gone up.
And about 1,500 set up, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good, but
Is that what you...
no, I've got a couple of no, still bloody fixed wireless, but workmates have it.
Nick uses it here even though we've got good internet in Canberra. It's not quite as good for gaming, but because of the latency, but I've considered it.
Well, unless you're playing Twitch shooters like COD or
It doesn't matter.
nah. Okay, Tangle's moving forward a little bit. Probably just going to support. Maybe just keep in range of... What has it got? Is it just Fireball or has it got Lightning Bolt?
What are we looking at?
Tangle, only Fireball.
Yeah, the brutal on Fireball though makes a big difference now. So
He might be in range of something. Maybe he's close enough now. Pardon me.
I'm sure it'll get better if Mr. Musk ends up in the White House.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we're already on to the shooting phase. The Tangle trying to boost the, what are they, tunnel runners? Looks like it's worked, which means they're going to hit harder, which means they will steamroll that horde.
I think you just said 30 shots, right?
Yeah, so he's got the weapon teams firing everything into the horde, I assume. Doesn't look like there's anything else it can see. Eight wounds onto that horde. Looks like it's fresh damage though, so it should be fine unless there's some follow-up shooting to go into it. Now he's getting the rat heroes, the Mother Chrysler and the Brood Mother, possibly firing into those wingets, which he's been trying to do all game.
Dial up. When's Paul Foster talking now? Back in the Dark Ages. How old are you, Paul? Jesus.
What are Stephen's options to score on scenario? Well, he's got the Brood Mothers in the centre there. The Claw Shots can, if they start running now. But otherwise, on the far left, we've got the Tunnel Runners, we've got the Tangle, and the Warrior Infantry. That horde's going to disappear in the centre. And you'd think the horde up the top right is also gone. Or not so gone, but it's not going to be able to get through everything to get to that point on middle right side of the screen.
You never underestimate Stephen. He's right up there with the Tracy level of playing the scenario.
Well, he hasn't beaten me yet, so.
Well, Granny Snark kept you in it.
I'm allowed a crutch, it's fine. Okay, time for the nerve checks if he hasn't done it already. No, looks like we're into combat, so no units taken off. Okay, so we have the Horde on the far right, trying to do something to the Troll Bruiser. They're only hitting on 5s. But looking at that result, that wasn't a bad hit. Can they convert to damage? No. So 2 damage on the Troll Bruiser. Which is obviously not high enough. It looks like it's a fresh Troll Bruiser as well. So it needed to do a lot more than that. Second Horde. Into, is that a king? I think that's a king. Again, hits not so bad. The thing's in a defense 4 though. 7 wounds on the king. And is trying to figure out whether or not it's gone or if he's just sort of made him shake. But as the kings are 13-15 and Stephen's total was 14, not enough to take him off. Just made him waver, which means he's in the game for another turn to go. So we've got, not sure which one, it might be the Enforcer, possibly. Yep, into that Horde. Chipping away. And now the Horde on the hill. Just a handful of hits. Will they convert? 2. Alright, looks like the first roll was enough to take the thing off, but because it was inspired, has to roll again, and this time is unsuccessful. Now this is the one that should steamroll that Horde on the far left. So we've got the Warriors doing their slaps, a couple of damage, and now the Tunnel Runners hitting on 3s. That Tangle casts a spell on it to make it damage better, and it should be damaging on 2s. Anything but 2. So it's on 13, still needs a high roll. And not high enough, only enough to waver it, which means it can't fight back. Got them shaking in their boots, but can't really do anything with that. Which brings us into turn 4. Time on the clock is quickly dropping. They need to start rolling faster. Okay, so he's just checking the objectives, and it looks like he's scored that one with his Horde. So Max is up 2 points to 0. I don't think Stephen's claimed any. I can't see any. Can't see how he would have gotten across. Maybe the Demon Swarm, but maybe not.
So we think Max has one.
I think he's got 2. Which would mean Max can only score 1 more point from the yellow dot by the red house. Or the center. No? Okay, so it looks like they have both scored, or Stephen has scored one on on the left there. Maybe they, or maybe it was moved. I don't know. Maybe they took it with them.
It's 1 each at the moment.
Okay, one each. So the point that was just removed there, that was sitting underneath the horde of goblins, that would actually went to Stephen.
And then one was picking up mistakenly.
Right,
So
okay.
that was just made it back on the board.
Yep.
That was on that left of screen there.
Sort of dragged with the unit, yeah, as they moved.
Yeah, 1 all.
Okay.
And what are we looking like in the centre? It's all going to depend on what those rat things take off, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all about those weapon teams. You'd think they'd be able to take out that horde.
Although, I wouldn't be surprised if at least one of those wingets is getting close to in range to charge.
Okay, so the horde has finally hit the other horde. Completely locking that down, and that side is now free. So Stephen is not going to claim that far right token. There's no way he can do it. I mean, the wingets are only melee 5, so even hitting a war engine 9, I'm there at 1 attack. So, but Stephen can't really move his guys out, otherwise the wingets just going to fly over there and claim it.
Yeah, that's the real power of the wingets, right? Is that scenario play. If you can't take them off with shooting, they're real bests as it gets late game.
And that's why I like the melee version over the range, because when I roll the range, it do hardly anything, and the melee version has better nerve. You don't really get them in combat. It's not about that. It's just keeping them in the game.
I think he really wanted eye in the sky and flexibility there.
Especially with
because
the...
you can't get it on the melee version.
No. Yeah, there's still a couple more turns, so you're right. Select that regiment to the right of the impassable terrain in the middle right of the board, near the two hordes that are fighting. They still have enough speed to get over to the center of that table to claim the center objective. As long as you can keep it hidden and away from the shooting.
And I mean, Goblins is exactly what those 3 war machines want to see in front of them, right? At defense 4. The sharp sticks to just...
Yep.
Sharp 6 to 4, aren't they? Yep. Just chew through them. It's not inconceivable that 3 trombones takes off a whole horde.
No, that's right. Yeah. And that center horde is half dead already. It's like he's moving. Is that a Mincer? I'm going to guess that's a Mincer. Into the flank of the warrior regiment. The Mincer does d6 plus 6 hits, doubling that in the flank. You'd think that warrior regiment's gone this turn.
And what's it got? Crush 1, Thunder 1, and Brutal. Could be important.
I mean, the warrior regiments aren't all that. I mean, it's 12-14, so...
Be rallied up, wouldn't they? Is there anything that they're rallying them? Maybe not. Do the Tamarans
Yeah, they're probably
rally?
out.
No. Because they only rally on the horde. Do they have anything?
No. So it's just a flat 12-14. The Tangle's done okay. I mean, it's just a... Okay, so the Tangle is the rallying unit there. But that's still only 13-15. It's an okay support piece, but I don't think it's done all that well. Ooh. What have you got printing there?
Part of a church terrain.
Okay, nice. How long's that going to take?
Worshiping. Oh, that's one part. That's like 8 hours.
It's a big
the
one.
whole thing.
Right. Yeah, it's because Target Storm. I'm wearing a headset. Look, have a look at what we're currently working with. Whoop. There we go. So,
Is that better, Target Storm? Target Storm.
Operation Target Storm.
And I'm trying not to breathe coffee breath in his face each time.
Yeah. Hopefully that's a bit better if I put it in this position. Back to the table.
I'm only here for special comments, not the play-by-play. More like idiotic comments.
Craig is currently the buy in the Rising event, which is running at the same time as the Masters.
Mm-hmm.
So you only have to listen to him for another half hour.
So we've got Max. Which combat? He's hitting on 4, so it must be a sharp stick combat, is it?
They're goblins. Everything hits on 4s. So we're in turn 5 already.
So Max went first, did he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a lot of movement going on now. It's trying to get units off the board, and I'm sure the clock is probably down to 15 minutes or so, maybe 10.
Looks like we've still only got the one result from other tables, but we should be able to start seeing more coming in soon.
Mm-hmm.
It's the thing with Raze, it can be, unless someone's absolutely dominating, most of them will go down to the last turn, I would say.
Look at Mr. T, Mr. Troella, strutting about,
Yeah, look at him.
finishing his
I'm
game
here
an
with-
hour
yeah,
early.
I'm here with Twilight Kin, bro. I'm just going to strut around. Me and my Twilight Kin. He's just throwing out an overpowered weakness while he's walking around. Oh, that's right. You don't either.
No weakness.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a weakness.
He's enthralling everyone as he walks around. Then. Yeah.
Sorry, I haven't been paying attention to the game. Dice have been thrown. Looks like we've got some range
Nothing's
attacks.
come off the board.
Range attacks on the claw shots.
Nerve.
Nerve checks.
So that's fine on the left. Brute Enforcer. Dead.
Okay, that's one threat out. And a scoring piece from Stephen.
What's this on a trombone?
Just checking it to
Yep.
see if it's in range.
And trombone gone.
Alright, another
He
point of damage.
needed
gone.
to be doing that to protect that horde.
Going for the claw shots now. And
Oh, gone as
it's only
well.
8-10 nerve, so it is gone.
That's the reasonable. I mean, a lot of scenarios I think you like to go second, but if you've both got a reasonable amount of shooting,
Yeah,
sometimes
both
going first can be
Yep.
that little bit more powerful. I'm not sure who chose, but that's certainly an advantage there for Max.
Well, especially with this scenario where you sort of have to get across the board, like you want to go first just to prevent your opponent from doing the same. Okay, into combat over here. The horde does hardly anything, and the troll is doing some more, but they have been chipping away for almost the entirety of the game. For another 4, that's 8, plus whatever it had before. Even though it rolled high. No, that's it. Done. Rolled a 9.
All right. Might have seen a little penile retraction there on Stephen.
So that's half the board he doesn't have to worry about now, Maxi. And he's still got another turn with a possible 7.
Now, in the context of the scenario, there's nothing over there. So, that side being cleared out doesn't now yield him a lot, except that Stephen's not getting that token as well.
That's
so
it. Just
he's limited
preventing that
to
point.
2.
Yeah. And the goblins aren't fast enough to get across to do anything meaningful.
I'm
For
just
that big combat.
wondering why he didn't reform, why he's gone forward instead.
Maybe sees there's no point,
Yeah, just is what it is, maybe.
or hiding them
Oh,
because of
from
the
shooting.
particular angle, because of the hill.
Yeah, so I guess got to remember too that we're playing blackjack, so losing attrition, like there is always the chance if Stephen sees scenario gone that he just tries to shoot stuff off.
Yeah. Okay, some more damage onto the horde there.
14. So saved by rally there.
Wavered. That must have been on the Broodmother. Okay, I'm guessing the Warrior Regiment now. On the hill. Struggling to hold all the dice because of the flanks.
Yeah, he's only got small hands too. He's a little man, Maxi. Petite, you could say. 8 wounds.
Including the rally.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to save him.
I think that's only the front or the flank, so there's more to come.
Yeah.
So we'll be on double ones here.
This is probably the front now. It had some damage already, plus the 7 or 8, and what, that 12-14 goes up to 15 because of the rally. And whatever these are doing as well.
I'm not sure which one Selic's talking about, but actually, yes, I would say probably next turn that's going to happen near the trombones, I'm assuming he's talking
Yeah.
about.
So that wing it down the bottom underneath the hordes can zip over there. There's nothing guarding that token near the weapon teams. So that should be another point for him. He won't be able to get the one on the far left because of the tangle. Unit strength 2 on the tangle. Right. Titan. Okay. That makes sense. I'm surprised the... oof. That's gone as well. Okay. I'm surprised the tunnel runners didn't do more than they did.
Yeah.
24 on 3s and 2s.
At this stage, he probably, I mean, to win the game, he doesn't need the one on the left, I don't think. But, you know, across 5 games, probably the bigger wins aren't quite as important as they
Yeah.
are in lesser games. But still, he'd want as many points as he could. I don't think I can see him, unless we go to 7, I don't think I can see him getting that.
Mm-hmm.
Although, the Mincer, if he bounces back with his horde and reforms the Mincer, yeah, I don't know. He mustn't have been able to reform that Mincer.
I mean, Steve's not getting that token that's just above the goblin hordes on the left side, in between the middle and the far left.
So
He's
I
not getting the one on the right side, so maybe he's just keeping the one that he's claimed.
safe, yeah.
Doubt he's going to get that one in the centre either.
So he's probably looking to minimise his loss now
Yeah.
more than go for the win.
Damage control.
Yeah. Which, you know, it is highly likely across 5 games that everyone could drop 1. So is a sensible play when you're in a small field of high quality players.
And we probably won't see either of these players on the stream until, if they make it to the end. We won't be streaming top table every round, because the person who's leading, you'll just
get
be watching
boring.
them all the time.
Yep.
So just until the very last game will be the top table. Terrain will get shifted about each game as well, so we're not staring at the same thing. Grass mats for everyone though.
Nice. So you knew.
Yeah, got it Monday.
Nice.
It's expensive.
Yeah. Can it fit fit a? Does that hole close up to fit a 6x4?
Yeah, that was just to show that it was.
Yeah, nice.
All right, pausing. There's a bit of contention here.
Looks like there's some confusion over amount of nerve, I think. Yep, and we're going. So they've cleared
Max
that up.
has just threatened Steve, and he's conceded. So bottom of the fifth, not much to go. Counter charges.
It doesn't really matter what the positioning was,
No.
as long as he can fit.
Yep. Do they know that? They are masters.
Although were they charged? Because Max didn't centre up on him.
Because I think because they were already in combat with another thing. I don't know. We can't roll back the tape. Hindsight will be great after this event is done to see if they've actually played it right.
It's a good thing about Kings, though. You can mostly sort it out yourself.
Back on the clock. How much time is remaining? Can you take a look?
I'll take a look, yeah. I'll just wait for them to be... I don't want to get involved in their rules discussion if I don't have to. Oh, too late.
Oh,
Yeah, I can do it.
we have a query. In steps Croja. The finangly bit of Kings of War. Arcs. Making sure who can see what and where. And Craig is getting a second opinion from another organiser, Steve Tuck, who's also in-game here and looks like has drawn a crowd. So Steve and Damo's games are probably over, hence they're walking about. I feel like I should go over and throw my hands in the stream as well.
Yeah.
Just feel like I'm joining in.
Yeah, so they weren't in combat.
They weren't in combat,
They weren't
okay.
in combat. So they were deciding whether... So effectively the two corners are flush there. They were deciding that whether they're... even though they're not in combat, they're flush. Does that mean the rats can see the goblins? Which they can't.
No, I wouldn't have
No,
thought
the
so.
goblins would have to be like a mil
Yes.
over.
Excellent ruling. The correct one. So they've just pivoted, looking towards the centre and moving up into the flanks of the Goblin Horde. Boink. Those goblins should be dead. They were half dead already from the weapon team shooting, which gives the weapon teams open to fire onto another horde, which is dangerous for Max. The Ratkin weapon teams are slightly faster than the norm. Makes them more mobile, makes their threat range greater. One of the good things about them. Moving his... I'm going to guess that's the special character, Mother Kryza. Who's like a Broodmother but has better nerve and hits better in combat. Claw shots move around the pond to get a better angle at things, possibly trying to take out the horde. There's not many options for it to shoot at. Yeah, he's only got a turn left. He has to keep the king alive. I don't think the regiment is going to... it would have to be a turn 7, because that regiment's not going to get in range in time. So we got the shooting phase back again. So like he's doing the Tangle is going to fireball the Mincer, and because it's hitting it on the flank, it's not getting the big shield, which means it's only wounding on 4s instead of 6s. 1 damage. Probably not going to be enough to take it off. Mincers don't have a lot of nerve, but they are fearless. 11, so Steve is going to have to roll pretty high to take it off. And the King has taken some damage. 4 wounds it sounds.
Yeah, 4 or 6, I think.
They're 13, 15, so that'll need another high roll. Pretty sure they're 13, 15. They are 13, 15, yep, so he's going to need to roll an 11 to take it off. Going for a wing it.
The King at the minute's up to 15 nerve though.
Ah, the King's
Total.
already taken damage, so
Yeah. So the one with the gold
yeah.
thing next to it.
The one that has already taken damage has taken more, and is basically double ones take it off. And he got double one. Didn't take it off.
And not very happy right now. And that'll be goodbye to a trombone as well.
Yeah.
Or I wonder if he can fit through the middle and just claim it and save the wingets for winget stuff.
He's killed one winget though. That's something.
Interestingly, if that horde was to go through, he's still not going to make it over to the other side to
Nah.
convert that token.
No. That impassable terrain's just gonna stuff him up. Okay, looks like we've got combat.
Oh, you wanted time before, didn't you?
Yeah.
Basically 12 for Stephen, 9 for Max.
Okay, so they've still got time. 12 minutes for Stephen, 9 for Max.
Somehow they've been slowing down. I swear it was still on track to finish at 11 before.
Yeah, it's 20 minutes left in the game, just about.
Don't know if it'll get used.
9 minutes for Max, 12 for Stephen. Well, probably 11 now. As long as the clock was unpaused from the earlier discussion.
I'm pretty sure it was.
You're 100% paid.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just doing this for you.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't quick look at everything.
The only thing is the packet already pressed.
Okay, this must still be the Horde attack into the flank of the Goblin Horde. We'll see where he puts the dice. Yep. And that exclamation means no. Starting to stress now.
I think the dice are against him. Even.
Yeah. What did you roll, Steve? Yeah. So that's Horde combat. He rolled a 3. Not enough. Not what you want when you're playing top competition like this. But it is a dice game.
Looks like we had another Masters game finish.
Alright.
Yeah, let's see if we can get what the results were there.
So we're on to turn 6 now, Max's side.
So we had Damien and Tucky had a draw, an 11-9 draw.
The worst
Okay.
part is he played better.
Yeah. Thanks, Nick.
He knows it.
Hmm. Let's see if I can start typing this stuff out to save time. Alright, so Max shoves his horde sideways,
And the wingets have jumped over the top.
leapfrogging.
And so I'm assuming he's within 3 there and he'll claim that.
Yeah, and looks like he's lined up the trombone into the weapon team. So that's why they moved across to give it line of sight. Troll Bruiser is hiding behind the hill, but leader point on it so it can see over.
And so that winged position, if there is a 7, gives him a chance to
Zip
pivot
over, yeah.
and go to the right if he wanted to. So Stephen can't move his tangle away from that left-hand token if he wants to protect it.
I'm just going to remove the surnames from this result because it'll make the things look weird.
It's all about the optics.
Yes. If you really want surnames as for the players, I'm sure you can find it in the list. Okay, time to shoot. And to save time, Steve said just roll the dice. It's fine.
And in true shed fashion, Steve and Damien are into the
Already into the
alcoholic
grog.
beverages.
Yep. That is okay. Is that a king into the claw shots? It looks like it'll be a hindered charge.
Yep, it's gone. Oh, sorry. No, it was the trombone combat.
Ah, right. Still
Now
in the
it's
shooting.
king on the
Yep.
claw shots.
7 on 5s.
2 wounds.
So he only needs an 8.
Done it again.
It's enough.
Oh, no.
No, okay.
Stephen's just celebrating a nerve roll going his way.
Hey.
Take the little wins, Stephen. Take the little wins. It's 5 games, mate. It's 5 games.
Again, the other slap fight. Both are damaged. 6 damage onto that horde. 21, that might be enough, unless there's a rally nearby.
No, I think that was, you're kidding. But, oh, so no inspiring left there. So there
And
goes
we're
the
done.
horde. And, yeah, there's no coming back from there.
Yep.
So,
It doesn't look like Steve has got enough to fire anything at that horde because it's already damaged. It could take it off, but nothing to do it, so that central will be Max's.
and then it'll just be a matter of extra attrition points because they'll still roll for 7 after Stephen has his turn.
Most of Stephen's army's off the table now. Still got those tunnel runners and the tangle.
I feel like he should have more drops. I feel like it was high drops.
$17 versus 22 drops.
There's still, so there's the tunnel runnels and the tangle over on the left.
Yep, claw shots.
And then nothing on the right, right?
Is there a Broodmother just to the right of the... Or Mother Chrysler, but to the right of the house. Oh, looks like there's another rules query. So Croja's just gone over to take a look on the Jeff versus Paul match. Bisseldorf versus Night Stalkers. Thanks, Death by Dragons. Or Steve, however you like to be known. Good night, have a good sleep. Mike, the results should be posted. I think the organisers are going to be posting on, might be the Kings of War Australia page. I'm not sure how prolific it is. I'll also post them on the stream after this match is done, once I find out. And we'll keep a running results page. Or an update, more like every game. Now, I won't keep this stream running the entire day. I'll be stopping it and then starting it again, just so on review you can choose which match to view, so you don't have to scrub through the one video. So just make sure that once we're done here to check back, and I'll post links on socials again for the next game.
Mike asking about results, is he?
Are the results available anywhere?
Yeah, I'll post the result. I'll post the companion link on Fanatics now, Mike. Fucking freaking copy it.
Bottom of the 6th, possibly the last turn. Once Steven's done their roll of dice on a 4+, they go for one more turn for a maximum of 7 turns. Could change things, but probably not in this current board state. The 2 wingets are still alive. And looks like Steve's Broodmother's running through the flank of the Mincer. Try and score some points out of that thing. Not to actually win the game, but just to save face, I guess. Attrition. And there's not a lot of shooting to go because things are in combat, so it's just the tangle. Trying to burn something. And it looks like he is burning the Horde.
Just gone on Fanatics, Mike.
If you refresh your YouTube companion, link to live results in description. Okay.
Yes, Max didn't take that token off, but maybe he's not within 3 on that left. Surely he is.
You would think. I think they've just forgotten. That Tangle should be claiming that.
No, sorry, the middle Max's.
Ah, right.
That one, with near the wingets.
Yeah, maybe. That may have been an oversight. And if... Oh, yeah, I'm not sure where that Broodmother or Mother Chrysler was before the charge. Can't remember. I mean, he'll still win the game.
Unless he's going the really gamey route of trying not to win too big as well.
Meta strats.
Yeah. Wouldn't be a bad strategy, to be honest. Always being, 3rd or 4th instead of 1st or 2nd until towards the end is not a bad strategy.
So it doesn't look like that's... was able to take out the Mincer. Are we rolling for a 7? Did we get a 7? I'm guessing we did.
Oh, did you roll for 7, Stephen? Yeah, what? Oh, it's only 6 now. Oh, who went first? Oh, right. Okay, we were a turn ahead.
Okay. Well, now it's turn 6. Sure.
All right. Hence why it didn't matter if he was within 3 of those tokens.
Oh, thanks.
All right.
Ooh, sugar pick me up. All right, now Max wins.
Yeah. Apologies for Benson getting it wrong, everyone. It's
No.
the first time in his life.
The players are wrong.
Yeah, the players are wrong.
There we go. That makes sense. gone over to contest. You can't actually take it unless that horde's close enough. Maybe, maybe not. I don't think so.
Should chew right in the microphone.
Yeah. Let me just open this little goodie.
And chew with an open mouth.
The dulcet tones of Benson. Yes, thank you, Anton. Some more damage into the claw shots. Take it off. They're only 810. Wasn't a whole lot of shooting, so straight to combat, really. Stephen making Max roll all the dice for the combats. Time on the clock is ticking. Doing some more wounds. And the nerve check. Rolling twice. The tangle is gone. Freeing him up to be able to claim that token. Which he does. What are we doing here? We're just wrapping up on Max's turn as Steve's on his possible last turn. Discussing what to do about the brood mother there. Alright. I think we're just about done. Steve doesn't really have much left he can do. Rolls to see if there's another turn. Which there is. Turn 7. The final turn of the game.
Oh, they just raced through 6 already on to 7. Okay. Doesn't take long to move.
No,
Yes.
that's right.
Right, so just going to see if we've got some other results here.
Looks like
And
turn
we go.
7 means that horde is gone, which means Steve can claim that center token. He gets one. We're done. Looks like Max has won this one. Or is it a draw? 2 points each.
Surely Max got that left one. How
Did he
not?
get the far left?
Oh, he got the far left. Surely he got that one.
Not
No,
sure about that one.
He chose not to. That's interesting.
So might have to
$5 the other guy.
possibly get some reasoning as to what happened in that middle bit, because we can't really hear what's going on. And looks like they're just discussing what they should and shouldn't have done. Okay, so I guess that's the end of that game. Still no confirmation as to if either of them won or if it's a draw. I think Matt's doing a run around to see what's what. And we will get the round results up in just a moment once we get a proper idea. It looks like people are still wrapping up, so not all the scores are coming through. So in the meantime, I might just pop back to the main screen because I might be away from the desk for just a little bit. And screen wipe. And I can also do some of the admin-y stuff so I don't have to see the top of my head as I look down and type.
They're meant to be in there. Why isn't...
How many are still playing?
They're all winding up now.
Right, sounds like 1 to 2.
Who got there?
Oh, it sounds like Max won. There we go. 2 to 1.
Just it's a terrible thought. Just absolutely, yeah. It's so self-conscious, but it happens. What do you mean? That's amazing. It's just really matters. Reasonable choice. Yeah, he's a 300 piece of chat. It's fine. I have no problems using a 300 point uniform in chat. That's what you need.
Okay, still capturing the results. So Croger just sent me a link to the app. Okay, there we go.
So Kakwa beat Lyle 17-4.
Did I not put Lyle in? Okay. I guess I didn't put... Single wide, there was only table 7.
Adam versus...
Table
Oh, you've got
8.
Daniel there.
Yep.
It's that's Cat. Oh no, hold on. No. Yes, you're missing a table.
Who was he up against? Lyle. Cac wins, as we thought. Still waiting on the results of 1, 2, 3, 4 games here. But I suppose you don't have to watch these guys trip up, so I'll move over to this thing. Okay.
Devenish is just on submarine plan. Is that it? Submarine.
How do we change this? Let's have a look here.
Stream went alright?
Yeah,
Seem to.
we're getting there.
I saw you playing with the camera at one point and I'm like, oh.
It's went black. Yeah. That's not right. Maybe if I save this, then I can re-upload it. There we go. And spelling mistakes, yay. File save. Bloop. Live edits, nice. And looks like Adam's won his game. Maybe I should space this out to make it easier to read. Hopefully. I don't know. Oh. And I'll figure out what time the next game starts so you can tune in. I would think it'd be pretty soon. I'm not sure when lunch is. Yeah, okay. Ah. So waiting on Luke and Rex, as well as AG and Matt Curtis. These two?
Not done. Not done.
They're still not done. Okay,
Well, not in anyway.
right. Alright, maybe we'll come back to that and we'll just show them at the start of the next stream, because who knows how long they're going to take to put in their scores and whatnot. Yeah, we'll do that. Alright. When's next round start?
Well, it's meant to be 11:15. Yeah.
Okay, so next round starts
So it'll be
8 minutes ago.
too long.
Yeah, we're straight into that and then lunch after.
Looks like most of them.
Okay, so lunch will be after round 2. So I'll end the stream now and start another one in 5 minutes. I'll see you soon.